Hello, my name is Malini and today I am going to show you how to make hoppers. This is not the same hoppers as the flying hoppers or saucers. It's not the same as the Minecraft hoppers either. But it's a lot more delicious. It's basically a Sri Lankan delicacy, I want to say, but it is also eaten for breakfast or dinner or even lunch. It consists of rice, flour, cooked rice, coconut milk, and to work the yeast, which you'd use for baking bread, etc. So I have to use 2 packets of this yeast for 4 cups of rice, 1 cup of cooked rice, and 150 ml of milk, 1 tablespoon of salt. There's a lot of rice and there's a lot of cooked rice as well. And first, I'm going to use this one. So this is not what I would normally use, but this would really blend it to a creamy texture. So I'm going to be using this one, which my son uses for his smoothies. And let me try and get the yeast going, because I do have to leave it in warm water. So that's what it looks like in case you've never seen it before. It's a slightly more powdery than mustard, if you know what mustard's like, and it's usually has a strange smell, but this one doesn't smell. So I kept this unopened so you can see what it looks like. And this is fast action, so I don't have to wait for minutes on end. So I'm using 2 of those packets. And the trick with yeast is it feeds on sugar. Leave the salt until the end, because salt may interfere with yeast working with sugar. It's half a cup of sugar. It's a lot of sugar, but you will see why we need so much of sugar. It's when we make the hoppers are a shape like that, and for the sides to stick to the pan and crispen, you do need something like sugar, so I put sugar there. And the water you use to activate the yeast has to be warm and not hot. So if you use hot water, it'll just absolutely kill the yeast and you wouldn't see it rising. So this should rise to double its quantity. I usually don't stick my finger in food, but I will do that now. That feels a little bit too warm for me. So I'm going to mix it in some cold water. This feels fine. It shouldn't be too cold either. It does have to be warm, but not too warm. That feels about okay. So I will pour that in there. You wouldn't want to stir it vigorously, so maybe with just a chopstick. Just give it a gentle stir, like so, and just cover it and leave it on the side. So I want every single bit to go in there. Leave it on the side for it to expand. And in the meantime, I will fill the rice into this. Of course, you need to use some liquid also, because otherwise these blenders don't work. You do have to put some liquid water in there. So I put 5 cups of water earlier, about 3 hours ago, and I filled it with water to cover the rice and left it to soak, because if the rice didn't soak enough, you won't be able to blend it. So I am putting in as much water as I can possibly get in there to cover this. It's going to be very noisy. Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering why I'm wearing all this weird jewelry, it's just for your viewing pleasure. Here I have the raw rice, which was soaked for 3 hours. Nice and creamy. It's ground to a paste that looks like a pancake mix. And now I have the 1 cup of cooked rice, and I have the coconut milk, but it's a very thick, well, not very thick, but reasonably thick consistency of coconut milk, because you can also have it very light. This one is, I put 3 of the 3.5 of this real coconut milk powder into I would say half a pint of water and mixed it. So now I put it in with the cooked rice, and I think there's enough liquid in there to grind this. Once this is creamed, I will add it to the raw rice that I've creamed here. I will add that to that, and then I have the salt, and look at my yeast, how it's growing. That's what you call growing. It was much less when I put it in, now it's bubbled up. And that's what's going to also make the hopper mixture grow. And here I am mixing the cooked rice, which I've creamed, with the coconut milk into the main mixture. The reason I want to show this to you is because it's quite a thick paste, and when I mix it in with the other ground up rice, which is like a pancake consistency, and if I find that it is too thick, then I can always add a little bit more coconut milk or even water. So the thing with coconut milk is if you put too much of it, because it has coconut oil in it, what it might tend to do is when you're trying to make the bowl-like shape when you're cooking the hoppers, what it might try to do is just flop in. So you have to make sure that you get the right balance between the water and the coconut milk. This looks like perfect. Luckily I don't have to add any more water to this. So I mix this thoroughly, and now look at my yeast. It's grown double in size, and I am going to add that to this mixture now. I want to make sure that I add every last drop. Remember, there's a lot of sugar there as well. And now I would cover this and leave it in the oven with the pilot light on. What that means is it has a bit of warmth in the oven, although I'm not cooking it, and that warmth would encourage the yeast to grow even more, and you will find that the hopper mixture would rise. Hi again, 3 hours on. Come closer, I want to show you something. Look at our hopper dough. It has grown. So when I left it, it was down here, and now it's come all the way to the top. And if I didn't stir this, it's going to start overflowing. So it's almost like when you make bread dough and you knock the air out. I'm going to do something very similar to this one. Gosh, the noise is almost like a volcano erupting away. Don't worry, that's what it's meant to do. I don't make hoppers that very often. In fact, the last time I made hoppers was nearly a year ago. Right, so to this, now I shall add the salt to taste. Remember, I haven't added any salt so far. So now I put the salt in and I mix the dough really well. While I do that, I'm going to show you what I have here. So remember I told you when you make hoppers, you can make egg hoppers and you can make dairy cream or coconut cream in the middle. And that is brown sugar, so you can have any one of these, or even golden syrup, Nutella alternative, jam, savory cheese, or red Leicester and mature cheddar. So now this is really well mixed. I'm not sure if I can taste it raw. I'm pretty sure I followed the recipe very closely to the T, and it should be fine. And what I want to show you here is chili, sugar and chili flakes. The best accompaniment in Sri Lanka for hoppers is something called sini sambal. So that's literally, sambal is sambal, like you can make coconut sambal or you can make onion sambal or any type of sambal. So a little bit like salsa is to Spanish people. Okay, so basically I would fry this in oil. There's about 1 centimeter of oil in this pan. Turn that on and pop the onions in. Like so. And I would actually leave it to fry away while I find the salt. You have to salt the onion so it becomes a little bit crispy, it loses its moisture content. Leave it to fry away, and then once it's fried I will add these three, which is the sugar, chili and chili flakes. So that gives it its sini is sugar and sambal is sambal together. It is a savory but sweet, mostly savory, very hot. That goes really well with the hoppers. Next I will show you how to make the hoppers. Oh, let me explain to you. So this is a typical hopper pan which I bought in London. This is a non-stick pan with plastic handles and an aluminium lid. The only problem I have with this one is by the time I got to the second or third hopper, the plastic handles start to smell of burnt plastic. So although the pan is really hot and it makes that happen, I could probably remove the plastic handles and use the pan. And this one comes all the way from Sri Lanka. So this is aluminium, I want to say, or cast aluminium with a similar kind of pan. This is really good. It has a rough surface, so when you pour the batter and you turn it around, which you should, and it sticks on the side and it's very easy to use. But I must say I haven't had much success with it, but I will try it out today. And so finally I bought these from Amazon. These are mini woks for Chinese cooking. They're not ideal because the sides are very slippery, so I can't swirl the dough and expect it to stick on the sides as much as I would like it to. But of the three, these have worked better. So I've just poured the dough into the pan and I swirled it like that twice, and then the rest would settle in the middle. Put it on the pot, leave the sides crispen a bit, and then put the lid on to cook the middle bit, and then this is what it will look like once it's cooked. So it holds the shape of the pan, it's brown, so you know it's cooked, and kind of fluffy in the middle. And this one, so you can see the different shapes. This is the one from the smaller pan, this is the one from the larger pan, which I'm cooking here, and this one is from the smallest one, which is this one, which I'm having a little bit of trouble because it's sticking to the sides. And that's the hopper. So now I'm going to make 4 more hoppers with the different fillings. But in the meantime, I want you to come closer to have a look at these onions that I've made. Okay, so now this one has started to, the sides are cooked. So I'm going to slightly put the lid on the side there, so the middle starts to cook. You have to keep a control of the flame all the time. So basically do that, reduce it, and that's the onions that's been frying away. And to that I will add the sugar, quite a lot of sugar, but then you'll see it's because I'm adding quite a lot of chili to it. So I'll add the chilies, and then turn the heat back on, because I had turned it off because onions put on, and then stir it really until the sugar and all the chilies combined. I'll just keep doing that for about half a minute. I haven't taken my eyes off the hoppers, I'm looking there as well, so I don't get them burnt. Leave that. And here you can see it started to brown the edges. This one, I told you about the handles that were burning, so it's quite precarious. I just want to see how each of these pans behave. So I'm holding it with a cloth so I don't burn my fingers. And you would take about that much of dough in your ladle, do that so it's not dripping, pour it in, you can hear the sizzle. 1 round all the way to the top, and round number 2, and that you let it settle in the middle. Put it on the hob, keep a control of the heat. Let's see, and then that's done. So this one is now done. So I will take this one off the heat. Because it's a non-stick pan, it should come off quite easily. I'm using the chopsticks just to ease it out of the pan. So my next one, I shall put the same amount of dough. You can hear the sizzle. Turn it 1 round. I can do it better with my right hand than with my left. So I swirled it round, all the way round. And then, in the middle, I shall put some cheese, because Rosalind, who's filming behind the camera, is waiting for cheese. So I'm going to put a bit of cheese on the edge and leave it to cook. This one looks like it's done. So I ease it out of the pan using the chopsticks. This one I am actually having trouble, I must say. Am I using the right side of the chopsticks? That's quite troublesome. Maybe if I left it to cool a bit, see? That's the good thing about having non-stick pans, you don't have much trouble getting them out. I'll leave it to cool a bit. And then the sesame ball is done. Do you want to come closer and have a look? Wow, that's quite a chili sesame ball. I know one person who would love this, and that's Rosie's dad. So we leave that on the side. So that's cooking away. Sides are done, so I'm going to cover the top. This one's getting done. Cover the top. And that's it. I'm going to show you how. Okay, for this one, what I might do is put some cream. Put some cream in the middle, so it ends up looking like a dessert. And then cover it. let me try this pan. There's yet another pan, or maybe I will just go with the second wok. Heat it first, bring it up to the right temperature, and then pour the hoppers. Do you want to come closer and have a look at this? So the cheese is melting and sizzling away. I do want the sides cooked. This one I will just leave it like that because the cream has to get hot. The flame is a lot smaller here. That one's hot. So I will leave the heat up a little bit more. I'm going to show you how I'm going to break an egg into it. So that'll be an egg hopper. Okay. Give the batter a quick stir. Do that so it's not dribbling. Pour it in the middle. Give it 1, 2, and 3 all the way to the top, and then put it on the hob. At this point I will crack an egg into it. And then I will cover. I wouldn't fully cover it because I do want this steam to escape. If the steam didn't escape, it will go on the sides and loosen the sides, and the sides will flop in. Don't want that happening. So here's Rosie's cheesy one. So you can see that one is beautifully melted. Oh, these pans do get quite hot. And there it is. And pour the next one in. I love this swirling action. It's quite therapeutic if the handle wasn't so hot. All the way around. And to this one I might put some Nutella. A good swig of Nutella would do no harm. Let me get another spoon and release the Nutella in the middle. Yum, yum. Put that back to cook. Let's see how the egg hopper is doing. It's doing wonderful. Just ease it out of the edges and leave it to cook. How nice it would be if these would cook within seconds. They do take a while. Now that one's nearly ready. The one with the cream. You may be able to put some brown sugar into it, so it goes from being a savory hopper to a dessert hopper. I can also use pineapple jam and this cheese. So I think this one, the sides are done, so I'm going to cover it with the egg in the middle. This one I shall cover as well, so chocolate melts. This one is a very tiny flame, so it's taking a lot longer than the others, and I do like it to brown a bit, so I will cover. And I'll transfer this one here, so I'll have space for the new hoppers. So that's the egg hopper that's coming out. It's going next to the cheesy one. If you like my video, please donate to the NHS if you live in the UK, and if you live in any other part of the world, donate to the Red Cross. You don't need me to tell you how much work the Red Cross does to people in the developing countries, especially children. They do huge amount of work. So please give, and thank you.